Yes, with the bassoon entry, I come in as well. Another bassoon here. This is the vk3sl wind section. Lots of wind and lots of madness, really. We've been testing ad nauseum because we had a glitch in the system yesterday. But of course, that adds to the drama. That's what this is all about. It's all about testing new things and finding ways forward and one step forward, two steps back. And I'm sorry, Frank, but we didn't quite succeed yesterday. We may have something positive on the horizon. I put in a new sound card and I found that there was a monitoring thing in the sound card that was getting some internal feedback, but we don't know for sure. We'll have to look at this closely. We'll give it another test and we'll gradually, surely make our way forward. And hopefully we'll be able to bring Frank into these missions in some capacity. If this doesn't work, we can go back to 2 meters and try something there, but always trying new things. This is vk3sl anyhow. These are Corona late afternoon missions. Some non-entertainment for people who are twiddling their thumbs in the late afternoon. It was originally intended as a stopgap when everything was really sort of tight and inflexible and everyone was seeing the end of the world on the horizon, but we've sort of moved past that zone and I keep going, mainly because I just want to hear the collection here and it's something to do. Yeah, that's how sad it is. It's pathetic, really, isn't it? Anyhow, the tests have been they've been all consuming. I was up late and I'm sorry if people were listening around on the bands, hear the hum and hear the noise and while I was trying out different arrangements, but I felt very determined. And we may have some positive directions. We'll see. All right. Well, I'm going to test out 3 turntables tonight. First of all, I've got the Buyer. I've got the Buyer sitting here with a Vitatonic on the platter. So we've got a Vitatonic, and I think it's a record of Isham Jones and his orchestra. This is Hi-Fi from the 1930s. vk3sl testing. vk3sl testing on 160 metres. We've been listening to the music of Isham Jones and his orchestra, and that was a Vitatonic, a Western Electric Hillandale transcription record from the early 1930s, Associated Program Services, and that's care of Mr. J. Now there's a chance we may have Mr. J as a guest on Sunday afternoon. We'll see. He's coming over, so we'll first of all we'll just fade that out. Don't need any extra rhythm. And yes, so there's a possibility there. So it will be great to speak to him at some stage. His extensive collection is something to be it's awe-inspiring to say the least, and with wonderful missions potential. Anyhow, that's one of his. And we'll now test turntable number 2. Now, I've had a lot of humbuckles with this one. Something's wrong, and I haven't been able to work it out. I've been putting little capacitors in across things and ferrites and all sorts of things, and it's something more sinister, I think. And there is a sort of stronger RF presence in here, and it is causing havoc. And I have an awful feeling that unless I completely redo the antenna, I'm stuck with it. So I've just got to try and make do for the moment, because I certainly haven't got time to redo antennas and things. So we'll give this a go. It may be marginally improved. That was the hope. So a 78 from 1930, we'll hear Leo Reisman and the Kinky Kids Parade.
Lemonade made by an old maid in the shade. Join in the fun at the kiddies' cabaret. See Jackie Horner and Boy Blue climb up a beanstalk 2 by 2. See tricks done by a pony. A mix should teach his pony. Red Riding Hood, oh boy, and is she good? I'll say that our gang could use her today. What joy and bliss at Wonderland. Who will resist our Tin Pan Band while dancing at the kiddies' cabaret?
Well, I'm afraid to say I'm going to fade it there, because we haven't resolved that one yet. It's still as bad as ever. It's funny how it suddenly got worse. All right, well, we'll continue with that one. I might have to just completely rip the whole system out and start again and try and see if I can find a happier solution there, but there's some interaction that I can't work out. I was nutting over this last night. Never the mind. All right, well, 78s may have to go on standby. We can play transcription records, and I'm happy to say the SP10 is back in service again. I had that in pieces as well, and replaced some capacitors, and hopefully our speed problems have been resolved. Although I have a sneaking suspicion some of the speed problems are the phase lock loop going out of lock because of RF. I have an awful feeling that might have been some of the problem, but we'll give this a go now. We'll go with the SP10, and on it I have some absolutely delightful non-music, something that I've never played before on these airs, and it's on a 10-inch LP. It's a Philips Mini Groove, and it features Ray Colligan on the Hammond organ, VK3sl.
This is a test transmission from vk3sl. This is a test transmission from vk3sl.
vk3sl testing on 160 metres. We're listening to Mr. Ray Collagen on the Hammond organ. Isn't that just amazing material? What great live music that is. I've got a bit of a bio on Mr. Collagen here, and it sounds like a medical condition. Let me see. I'll wind it down. Ray Collagen was born in Liège in Belgium. His interest in music dates back to his 6th year. He made his public debut with as an accordionist at Liège's Wintergarten while still a youngster. He determined to make more serious study of music and enrolled at the Liège Conservatoire, where he won first prize for pianoforte. His desire to make quicker progress than his professor thought appropriate led to his appearances in cinemas, accompanying silent films. The pocket money he earned in this way was spent on gramophone records, and he passed his leisure hours listening to them and studying them. Before long, jazz music had conquered his heart and soul. In 1926, he joined Shelley's Serenaders. This was followed by a tour of Algeria and France, where he settled in Paris with Billy Schmidt's combination at the Tabarin. An engagement in Switzerland started him wandering again. When he returned to his native Liège, it was to spend 4 years playing some of the city's great cinema organs. It was during this period, too, that he met Fud Kandrix, what a great name, who was busy forming an orchestra at the time. Surprised to hear a Belgian pianist playing in Earl Hines style, Kandrix immediately engaged him, and The task of making most of the ensemble's arrangements soon fell to him. His first song made its appearance about this time. It's a song called Love, which also became a success in France under the title Serious Vu en Angle, whatever that means. Collignon spent 4 years together with Kendricks, always attracted by the styles of Negro pianists. Ray Collignon was to be heard in Antwerp and to that of Teddy Wilson. When the war was over, Ray Collignon was to be heard in Antwerp and Brussels. Now, this is the bit I like. It was about this time, too, that Hammond organs came into fashion, and Collignon began to work up a suitable style based on American music. He also made his appearance on the Belgian radio, where critics likened his playing to that of Errol Garner. Well, there we go. That's the wrap on Ray Collignon on the Hammond organ on a radio high-fidelity Philips mini-groove disc. And listening back to that through the compressor, it made me think of camping, sitting in the tent and hearing the rain on the tent. And yes, the crackles and the noise were sort of more than omnipresent there. And it sounded a lot better through the speaks here. But as soon as you switch it on to monitoring off air, wow, it did sound like a storm. We'll save the other side of that for another time. I think it's great missions fodder. It resonates. Tunes in tempo with Ray Collignon. Now, I'm sort of in a more popular mood. I was going to put on a Mozart symphony, but we'll leave that to next time. And we're testing, of course. There's nothing else to it. It's just a 160-metre indulgence, late afternoons, do it every day. And it fills a void. It fills a void of my life. It just reveals what a pathetic situation this is. Come home and think about missions with 3 people listening. No, I'm quite happy to do this because it's something to do. And what's the point in having all these records crowding around and multiplying? And I mean that they multiply, they grow, and not playing them. So this is an excuse to play them, and it means I'm sort of in the zone, so to speak, even if it is one huge indulgent fantasy. Next one is a record with the name Arnott all over the cover. So Mr. Arnott, Mr. C.P. Arnott of Glenferrie Avenue, Ridge Park in South Australia. If you're listening, Mr. Arnott, your record has been absorbed into this collection and it's here. We're ready to play it. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times he's put his name on the cover, including he's typed it, he's printed it. He must have felt very special about this record. He didn't want anyone else to not return it. Well, it's been here for about 25 years, and I don't know where you are these days, Mr. Arnott, but I dare say you purchased this record in about 1955. It's a Decca 10-inch record. It's Edmundo Ross and his Rumba Band. And this is vk3sl, and just a quick word that we will be continuing the mission's diatribe this evening.
Love, love is a beautiful thing. Good in the winter, but better in spring. Love, love gets you down in the mouth. In America North or in America South. Disappointment. Love is full of disappointment. Very, very risky undertaking. Dangerous, delightful in the making. You'll discover every lover like a book with pretty cover. Chapter 1 has interesting content, but like a kiss can end in disappointments. Romance is just a sentimental game of hide and seek. Romance is for the strong and never, never for the weak. Why be downhearted? Let's get started. Don't be weak and chicken-hearted. Love has many, many thrilling moments, but many, many, many disappointments. thin or fat or even short and tall. Romance, it can be heavenly for anyone at all. Why be downhearted? Let's get started. Don't be weak and chicken-hearted. Love has many, many thrilling moments in compensation for your disappointment. In compensation for your disappointments. If you should find yourself in a stew with your love and she's driving your life kinda crazy, I say, my friend, the best thing to do, take a trip where the climate is lovely and lazy. You better take a trip to the Virgin Islands and rid yourself of your worry. While you're relaxing on the sand, life will be so grand, you'll be happy in a hurry. You work for years and pray for the day you'll retire, and your life will be like milk and honey. And then a taxi cab comes your way, knocks you down, and your wife will collect all the money. You better take a trip to the Virgin Islands and rid yourself of your worry. While you're relaxing on the sand, life will be so grand, you'll be happy in a hurry. You'd better leave your doctor's bills, leave all your pills. If you're ill, what's the use if you're wealthy? You eat a dish of fungi and fish callaloo is delicious and you'll be so healthy. You better take a trip to the Virgin Islands and rid yourself of your worry. While you're relaxing on the sand, life will be so grand, you'll be happy in a hurry. How can you hug and kiss in the town when the bright electric light shining down gives you no chance? But me child, you're gonna go wild past the full moon that shines on this island of romance. You better take a trip to the Virgin Islands and rid yourself of your worry. While you're relaxing on the sand, life will be so grand, you'll be happy in a hurry. You take a donkey cart and you ride to the beach at Lagoon every morning. There ain't no telephone that can ring, and the boss say come back to the land you were born in. So better take a trip to the Virgin Islands and rid yourself of your worry. While you're relaxing on the sand, life will be so grand, you'll be happy in a hurry. Talk to me, oh honey, won't you talk to me? Whisper all the pretty little love words in my ear. Talk to me, yes honey, won't you talk to me? Tell me all the tender things you know I long to hear. Tell me that you're mine, only mine, say the words and set my heart aflame. I'm in love with you, only you, won't you tell me that you feel the same? Cuddle in my arms and tell me true those words of love I want you to. Oh honey, won't you kiss me, hold me tight and talk to me. Talk to me, honey, won't you talk to me? Whisper all the pretty little love words in my ear. Please talk to me, oh honey. honey, won't you talk to me? Tell me all the tender things you know I long to hear. You must tell me that you're mine, only mine. Say the words and set my heart aflame. For I'm in love with you, only you. Won't you tell me that you feel the same? Cuddle in my arms and tell me true those words of love I want you to. Oh, honey, would you kiss me, hold me tight and talk to me? So talk to me. One at a time, you better be in love with one at a time. Take my advice, you're gonna find you're better off in loving one at a time. Men from 20 to 83 don't go in for variety. When you start loving two or more, trouble comes a-knocking at your door. One at a time, you better be in love with one at a time. Tell all the gals that you decline to be in love with more than one at a time. Though it may be a lot of fun, loving many instead of one, comes a time they catch up with you. Brother, when it happens, you are through. One at a time, you better be in love with one at a time. Don't let your heart get out of line, don't play around with more than one at a time. Old King Solomon thought he could have a lot more than one man should, but when he felt that the time was near, this is what he shouted for all to hear. One at a time, you better be in love with one at a time. Take my advice, you're gonna find you're better off in loving one at a time.
This is vk3sl. We've been testing here on 160 metres in the no-band FM mode, listening to a variety of modulated test material which sort of fits some sort of delusion. And I think we'll wrap it up at this point. We'll finish early tonight. I notice there's other activity on the band, and I think that I may be... Well, it's a space that's being filled, which otherwise someone else might be happier to move around and find explore the Grey Line regions. Anyhow, I think, and also I've got things to do. So we'll stand by for more missions, late missions tonight, and that's all happening at 11:30 tonight. I noticed the power's way down, so I'm interested to know what's going on there. What else? Missions probably on Sunday afternoon. Mr. Long's got his missions tomorrow, which I thoroughly recommend. That'll be great. So that's happening. He's put some amazing stuff up on YouTube, so we'll no doubt get a commentary on that if he's on. So that's on 147.475. And I don't think there's much else to say other than that there is a blog page now dedicated to these missions, vk3sl.blogspot.com. That's the go-to place, and there's also the YouTube streaming, of course, as well. So streaming services abound. There's two streaming services. There's the YouTube stream and also another stream, which you can it's access via my QRZ.com page. Just look up my call sign. So different modes, different approaches. All right. Well, thank you for your indulgence, and it's been most enjoyable as usual. We'll stand by for more missions later on. VK3SL testing.